Today I'm here with a new anime review on the anime Steins Gate. Now there are a lot of things that could get spoiled for you, so I'm going to keep it as simple as Steins Gate is an intricate, unveiling story following an ensemble of characters that stumble upon a time machine and they now must deal with the effects and consequences of tampering with the world lines. Now a lot of you have asked me to review Steins Gate, including El Cattell. I don't know if that's an L or an I, but I'm going to go with an L, and that's what I call a vid. And I gotta say, I love this anime. I mean, it took a while for me to get used to it because the first few episodes, it's very confusing and you don't know what's going on. But as the story progressed, gradually it got better and better. I mean, I was invested in the story, the characters, the animation is great, the opening theme is catchy. I mean, it's the best anime I've seen this year. First off, I don't want to take too much time talking about this because it's kind of like an obvious thing nowadays, but the animation I thought was really great. I love the animation style. I love what they did with the animation. Good job. This anime just has such an intricate, intriguing, and involving story with so many twists and turns. Like I mentioned earlier, it's kind of confusing at first. I mean, you don't really know what's going on, why these characters are acting the way they are, but as the story progresses, more and more you start to understand, things start to piece together, and you're like, this story is so intriguing. And I loved how they played off the whole butterfly effect of using a time machine, how one small event can affect the outcome of the future in a huge way. I mean, there are moments in this anime where you think it's just a small thing, it's not going to affect anybody, but you'd be wrong. And speaking of a time machine, this has to be the most practical and most believable use of a time machine I've ever seen. Anime, TV show, movie, what have you. Now I don't want to dwell too much upon how they use the time machine and what they do with the time machine. I want you guys to go see that for yourselves. It's so interesting. But the way that they use the time machine, I thought was quite believable. Like, that could be made in like 5 to 10 years maybe. And another huge plus to this anime is that this anime without a doubt has one of the best ensemble cast I've seen in an anime since Anohana. Each character had weight, each character had relevance, each character was significant. There was not one weak character. Each one of them were connected to the story in some way, shape, or form. And even some side characters like Mr. Braun have some relevance to the main plot. How he has relevance, I'm not gonna say. Like I said, I want you guys to go see it for yourselves. All of the characters had a huge part to play in this anime. They were all interesting in their own way and they were all well developed. I think the one with the weakest development would be Daru because he really didn't have much going for him. He was just like the comic relief of the anime, but then here comes an episode where it really focuses on his character and you're like, oh, okay, now I understand more about that character. You see a growth in his character. I mean, all the characters in this anime are so well developed. If one character was taken out of the anime, I think that would be very detrimental to the anime. And that highlights my point that each character is integral to the plot. There is not one weak character to where I was like, if that character didn't exist in this anime would go off smoothly. To emphasize how much I love this ensemble cast, my love for this ensemble cast is the same love that Jeremy Jahns has for the ensemble cast of Firefly. That is how much I love the entire cast, and I felt like they all worked together for the grand scheme of the anime. But the two that really stood out to me, and they are my favorite characters in this anime, is Okabe or Hoin Kyomo and Krisu. They both are just well-developed characters. You get an understanding of their background, why they act the way they do, and I love the banter between them. The banter between Kyomo and Krisu is one of the most entertaining factors of this anime. Just seeing them go back and forth where Okabe calls her Christina and she's like, I'm not Christina, or he's like, you're my assistant, and she's like, I'm not your assistant. They could go at it for days upon days and I would still be interested and I would still be laughing. They are the backbone of this anime and you fall in love with them off the bat. And you really get the sense that although Okabe treats most of his lab members like crap, he really cares deeply for each and every one of them. He would risk his life to save any one of them. And also he's a Dr. Pepper drinker. I'm a Dr. Pepper drinker, so I related to him in that sense as well. And then you got Krisu. This girl is without a doubt the true definition of tsundere. Every scene with her just highlights that fact so greatly. And when reading most of my comments in my top 10 best female anime characters, and if you have not checked out that list, you should go check it out, you know, I'm just saying. I noticed that a lot of you put her name in the comment section and now I understand why. She's such an awesome character. I love the way she acts. I love the design for her character and I love her voice. Something about her voice, it just hit me. I loved it. But what really makes Krisu so awesome is that she really understands Okabe. Not only on a scientific and ambitious level, but on an emotional level as well. There are times in this anime where Okabe is just down on his luck, his back is turned against the wall, and Krisu's there. She understands what he's going through and she wants to help him them in any way possible. And that's what made their relationship so dynamic. The fact that this character can understand Okabe at such a level, it just really struck me. And probably one of my favorite episodes in this entire anime, episode 22. It's the only episode I know that I've watched over 4 times, and I know most of you who've seen the anime are like, why would you watch that? Why would you go through that 4 times? It's because I really just enjoyed that moment. The moment that they had in that episode, it was priceless. The Japanese voice work was great. I didn't get a chance to see the English dub, although I heard a lot of good things, and I probably will rewatch it again in the English dub because I trust Funimation at doing a great job. But the Japanese voice actors did a phenomenal job at conveying all the emotions of the characters through their voices. And probably my favorite voice in the entire anime was Maru-chan's voice. I mean, anytime she did I just had a big smile on my face. I loved hearing it. And lastly, I thought the ending was very satisfying. There are kind of 2 endings. There's episode 24, which is like the story end, and then there's like a sub-story later on in episode 25. The only gripe I have about episode 25 is how it ends. It ends to the point where I'm like, no, I actually wanted to see it happen, because these 2 characters were about to do something, and you don't really see them do it, although it's kind of hinted at they were going to do this one thing, but you wanted to see it happen. I wanted to see it happen. But overall, Steins Gate is just an intricate and interesting anime with a captivating story, great animation, and one of the greatest ensemble casts I've seen in an anime in a long time. And that's why I'm going to give this anime a 5 out of 5 stars. It is truly an epic masterpiece, and I highly, highly recommend that you guys go check it out. It's so good. But anyway, what did you guys think of this anime? Did you like it a lot? Did you find it dull and uninteresting and you're not really that into sci-fi? And let me know, what is your favorite time travel anime? Comment below, let me know.